Oh, it's a big week. Big week at the movies. Big week for award season. And we got some releases too to talk about. Welcome. This is the Screening Room Podcast. And she is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And we're from MaddWolf.com. Yeah, but the big news, it's Oscar. And whoo, boy, if you're a horror fan, look, I'm sporting my Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
My Frankenstein hat because
big day for us.
Big day for horror fans at the Oscars. I mean, talk about crashing the party. I don't even know if it's crashing.
Oh.
But because horror,
it's our party. Y'all are invited.
Horror's been getting the love all this award season. But man, coming through Sinners, of course, 16 nominations. Record breaking. And even if you take away, because there's a brand new category this year that they were nominated for, casting. Even if you take that away, it still breaks the record.
Yep. Which was 14.
And 14. And well deserved. I mean, it's so great. But Frankenstein got 9.
Yeah.
And then Weapons.
Yeah, Weapons got one.
And
The Ugly Stepsister. Got one. So big day for horror.
Big day. And we made a post on MaddWolf.com and on the socials about all the nominations and our overall reactions.
Yeah.
Always picking a few nits. Not a whole lot of nits to pick, especially because we've tried to do it over the years when you say, well, somebody should have got nominated. Okay. Who are you going to take out? Yeah. And even though there's a bunch of performances, even more horror performances that could have been nominated. When you think about from Sinners, Jack O'Connell, think about he could be nominated. Or how about from Bring Her Back, Sally Hawkins?
Oh,
there's 2 other fantastic horror performances that could have been nominated.
Right.
But who are you going to take out? Or from Sinners, Miles Caton. There's another great one. Yeah. Who are you going to take out? That gets harder. Yeah. Not to say that those performances aren't worth a nomination. They certainly are. But you look down the list of nominations, and there's not a bunch that jump out like, until you get to Best Picture and you wonder about F1. And I liked F1. Don't get me wrong. F1 was thrilling fun. I would not have nominated for Best Picture. No.
Certainly not over No Other Choice. That got completely shut out.
Yes.
That pains me.
That was probably our biggest nit, our biggest pick of nits.
And the thing that we were the most excited about was that Delroy Lindo finally has an Oscar nomination. I think so too.
And they should be.
Oh yeah, he should have one. He should have at least one already. He should have the Oscar for The Five Bloods. It was the greatest performance I saw that whole year.
And even if you say, okay, well, a little bit of that makeup went into this nomination, that's not taking anything away from this nomination because it's wholly deserved.
Oh yeah, and I was really worried because so many of the sort of award ceremonies that lead up to Oscar did not include him.
Right.
Gave nominations for tons of Sinners stuff, but not him. And I was so convinced he wasn't going to get an Oscar nomination.
I hope he wins.
So me too. That's my biggest hope.
Yeah.
I hope that Delroy Lindo wins. Not just because he should already have one, not because I love everything he's ever done, but because he deserves it for this. And this is a stacked category.
Oh.
Best Supporting Actor, Sean Penn was glorious in One Battle After Another. Benicio del Toro is, aside from Delroy Lindo, my favorite performance of the year. It was hilarious. He was so fascinating.
And first of all, neither one of those have as much screen time as Delroy Lindo does. And both, they have one. I think Sean Penn might have 2
I think Sean Penn has
Oscars, but Benicio has one. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Those are great performances, but man, Delroy Lindo. So that was a fantastic surprise.
Yep.
And a lot of people seem to be surprised about Kate Hudson for Best Actress. I did. I mean, I thought she was worthy in that movie, and it's a movie that almost everybody likes. And I know
who saw it. It didn't do very well, so now is your chance. To go see
and
it.
I know for people that didn't see it, they kind of like, what about Neil Diamond? Tribute act. She's really good. She does her own singing too, for what that's worth. And she reminded me of it's a very similar performance in Roof Man. I thought Kirsten Dunst was fantastic in that movie, and nobody talked about. Yeah, it's sort of that kind of a performance, but this one happily got recognized, and she does deserve it. I'm not saying some other people that got shut out didn't deserve it, but don't think that Kate Hudson doesn't deserve it.
I think you can kind of tell from the trailer. I mean, she's just, first of all, that accent is so spot on. Yeah, she's great in it.
She's really, when you look at the movie, she's the one in the true story. She's the one that had the accident happen to her. And so she's kind of the heart and soul of the movie. And it's well worth seeing. It really is. It surprised the heck out of me. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. And she's great. And she does deserve that.
Who do we think is a front runner? Do we think right now it's
for Best Actress?
supporting. That's
Oh,
supporting.
supporting.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm sorry, you're right. That is Best Actress.
yeah, Kate Hudson is Best Actress.
Yeah, you're right.
Jessie Buckley.
Yeah, Jessie Buckley. Oh yeah, that's the surest.
But
lock
look at
of
all
the
of those.
entire-
I mean,
that's
Rose
the surest
Byrne,
lock, though. Jessie Buckley.
Renata Renzi, who I've
Oh,
loved
she'll
forever.
win
She's
eventually.
going to win eventually.
Yeah, she
She's
is,
nominated every
absolutely.
year,
Yeah.
and everybody loves all those performances
Yeah,
in
she's
sentimental
always great,
value. Emma Stone just became, if I read this right, the youngest person ever to get 7 nominations
in her life. Yeah.
So yeah, she's a lock
always
every year.
magnificent, Yeah.
She's got 2 already, so
Yeah.
probably not. I'm thinking Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
Thinking Jessie Buckley all
Oh,
over the
for
place.
sure, all
Yeah.
day. But yeah, you're right. I was looking at the Best Supporting Actress, and that I was really excited about Winmi Masaka, who was so great in Sinners.
So she's always good
She
too.
is always good.
Watch His House. If you haven't seen His House.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix. Watch it.
Watch His
so
House.
great. But also I feel like Amy Madigan for Weapons, and she seems to have the momentum. We won't really know until SAG, because there's a lot of crossover in the Screen Actors Guild and the Academy voting.
Yeah.
But I think she's got a good chance.
Yeah, they're all great. Like I say, most of the everybody loves Aunt Gladys. Like I say, looking down these, you really can't think of anybody that should be taken out if you want to put somebody else in. So all in all, I think a pretty strong. Aside from our biggest beef is No Other Choice getting completely shut out.
Yeah.
Even in international film. I mean, No Other Choice is really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
See that if you haven't.
Do it.
And
also we're so excited to celebrate Sinners that we keep not mentioning One Battle After Another, which is a masterpiece and got 13 nominations?
One Battle?
Yeah.
I think so. And also in horror, Frankenstein.
Yeah, I got 9.
And
love.
Yeah. So great. For all not only the technical awards that it definitely deserves, but for Best Picture too. It's great because horror's coming for you.
It's really true. All 5 of our top 5, our 5 favorite movies of the year, all 5 were nominated for Best Picture.
Great.
Because it includes those plus Hamnet plus Train Dreams.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Train Dreams. So yeah, good stuff. And we'll find out. Congratulations to all the nominees, and we'll find out March 15th, I believe, the 98th Academy Awards. All right. Anything this week going to be nominated next year? I doubt it, but but you never know. Let's start out.
First up this week, in the near future, a detective stands on trial accused of murdering his wife. He has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to the advanced AI judge he once championed before it determines his fate in Mercy.
Yes. Pronounce that, director?
Timur Burkmanbatov.
Nice. And I know he's done some action thrillers.
He does a lot with Liam. A lot of Liam Neeson.
Oh, okay.
Movies.
Okay. Oh, he did that.
He did the Night Watch. That's what it is.
Yeah, and he did the Ben-Hur remake. He did that awful War of the Worlds remake.
A lot of people thought that was the worst movie of last year.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I'll take your word for it. Mercy, that is Chris Pratt, and he stars as a cop, an LA cop in 2029. So just, a few years from
3.
now. Yeah, I'm not good at math. But he finds himself on the wrong end of this law enforcement AI device that he sort of championed. He's been really supporting for years. Well, now all of a sudden he's accused of murdering his wife, and he's strapped to this chair in front of this AI judge, Judge Maddox, played by Rebecca Ferguson.
And you were so sad to see her on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 90 minutes left to live and you have to spend it with her, I mean, there are worse ways to go, Chris Pratt. But so he wakes up. He's been on a bender, and so he's pretty groggy, and that's an organic way for her to tell him exactly what's going on. And she also explains the rules of the Mercy program and how this is going to work. And then once she starts the clock, he has 90 minutes to present his case, and it's in real time. And if his innocence level doesn't get to, the burden of proof level is 92%. It basically starts out that he's believed to be 98% guilty. If that can drop to 92%, that's reasonable doubt. He's free. If they don't, in 90 minutes, he will be instantly executed. So you've got AI judge, jury, executioner, boom, nice and tidy there in 2029. And of course, a lot of this is screen life, because as the big AI overlord, she has access to everything, all the cams everywhere, everybody's cell phone, everybody's email, everybody's report, anything that he needs that he thinks might help prove his innocence, boom, she can call it up. So that means you're going to look at a lot of screens moving around. That makes people say, it's a lot of jittery, It's not like it's lasers or anything, but some people that can make them a little jittery. So be aware of that. It's not 100% of screen light, but it's a lot of it. So as he starts making his case, it gets very heavy-handed, sometimes comically so and comically absurd. And sometimes, boy, that evidence is sure right there in everybody's face, easy to find. Sometimes it's not, but the point is, this shouldn't work as well as it does. And it really works well for one good reason. It's because they tap into the current, I mean, this week, anxieties of the day. You've got the surveillance state, you've got the police state, you've got the technology AI state all come together, and it's making everybody nervous for a lot of reasons right now. And this plays into that. And as it goes along, even if you sniff out where it's going, and I admit I did, you want a reason to feel like you make sense of it. Is it going to be okay? Can we deal with this? Is there a way out? Even for 90 minutes, you want to feel that way. And as ridiculous as this movie gets, it kind of delivers. And you've got likable stars like Chris Pratt, although he's saddled with some awkward dialogue. I felt for him, and he can't always rise above it.
He's not a master thespian.
But he's very likable, and he's playing against type here because his character is not a likable guy, especially when you see some of this cell phone video and all that. So you're trying to cast doubt on his character and everything, but he's still going to prove his innocence. So you're gonna feel some Minority Report, some The Fugitive. Those are both better movies than this, but it's still, I thought it was oddly satisfying for a movie that shouldn't be this satisfying. And of course, Rebecca Ferguson is great. She's got an easier time. She just has to be the cool, calm, and collected, no emotion AI that's just matter of fact. No, we're going to kill you. Then get to 92%, and every time he thinks he comes up with a piece of evidence, and he looks over and it hasn't dropped any. And he's like, "What gives?" And then she explains, "Well, that doesn't mean blah 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 or this." So it's kind of fun that way. You see the timer ticking down from 90 minutes. It's real time, so that's how much time is left in the movie. So
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Is it going to be on next year's Oscar list? It is not, but it's oddly satisfying for Mercy, and that it's actually felt like one that probably could be a streamer, to be honest with you. But we've talked about.
But it's January.
So, exactly. So, but yeah, not as terrible as I thought it would be, because the trailer did not give me high hopes, but it's better than that. So there you go. Mercy is in theaters now.
A horror film next. When a man receives a mysterious letter from his lost love, he is drawn to Silent Hill, a once familiar town now consumed by darkness. It's Return to Silent Hill.
Don't return to Silent Hill.
Well, we will say Mercy has a better chance of being Oscar nominated next year than this does. Yeah. I liked your comment from your review. I'm not sure it's a movie.
I don't know what. So it's,
ouch.
Yeah, Christoph Gans returned, and 20 years ago he made Silent Hill, right, which of course is based on a very popular video games. And I didn't care. We didn't like it when we saw it, but I did. It's been 20 years, so I did revisit it before seeing this one. And I don't always do that, but I just like to watch horror movies, so it's like an excuse.
It had some creepy to it.
It really did.
Didn't love it, but
no, it isn't very good, and it's just very much like playing a video game. But and I've never played that video game, but the beasties are creepy. I remember a guy from Silent Hill, like sort of all bound up in barbed wire in like a bathroom stall, this filthy bathroom. It was creepy. I mean, this one, that one also had Rhoda Mitchell, and they didn't ask her to act very much, but she's capable of acting,
which is nice.
Yeah. This one, he's much less interested in acting. Jeremy Irvine in this one, who Warhorse. You don't even know how much I hate the movie Warhorse, so I'm not going to hold that against
you. She hates it a lot,
but it did give me a little.
I don't love it, but
traumatic flashback. But anyway, he's an adult now, and he's going back to Silent Hill to try to save his girlfriend, who he believes is trapped there. One of the things that Gans does, he lights and films the characters obviously very specifically, so that they look less like flesh and blood humans and more like video game characters. And even the way they move, the way you can tell that a lot of the shots are probably taken, they probably directly mirror some of the sort of staging and setup times during the video game that tell you the plot and how the plot is changing now that you've gotten to the next level or whatever. And so their movement is very stiff. The dialogue, I think, also is probably a lot of it pulled directly from the video game, and so that's what it sounds like, just stilted, dumb exposition. That doesn't give. I don't know. I mean, if you're jumping to the big screen, I'm not sure why you don't embrace cinematic concepts. Why instead? But okay. So you're making it just for the video gamers, and you want to make it seem like here's this video game brought to life. The problem is, so first of all, on the rare occasion that we see these beasties, they don't look any better than they did 20 years ago. Not at all. They don't look any better than they did 20 years ago. And we barely get to see them. They're on the periphery. We only really get to see two, sort of that like armless, head kind of and then they're like big insects and got these weird faces on the bottom. But they're very non-essential. Nothing happened to this movie. Nothing happened to this movie. Nothing chases them. They don't battle anything. Nothing happens in this movie. It is exactly like somebody just strung together the setup sequences that tell you how they got to the next level without ever letting anybody play the game.
See, that's the thing. And we've both said many times, we're not gamers, but I assume, isn't it a deal where if you play the game, you're like shooting the creatures? Doesn't that what happens?
You have to chase something. Something chases you. There is some sort of battle with these beasties. Right. We almost never see beasties. I'm telling you, nothing happens. There's nothing happens to this movie. It doesn't, it's just like I said, it doesn't feel in any way like it's a movie. It feels like some sort of you're waiting for the action to begin on a video game that you don't even get to play. It is the most frustrating, terrible movie.
Right. So I can't imagine even the fans of the game liking it.
No, I can't
they don't get to play.
I can't either.
Really strange. Really strange.
So bad.
Yeah. So it's amazing after 20 freaking years. For some reason I thought there was another one in between. So like this will be the third one.
Nope.
But you wait 20 years and then come up with this game plan. It's very curious.
Yeah.
Very curious and not good.
No.
So that is Return to Silent Hill or don't. It's in theaters.
And in theaters, the story of Ann Lee, the founding leader of the Shaker movement, proclaimed as the female Christ by her followers, depicts her establishment of a utopian society and the Shakers' worship through song and dance based on real events. The Testament of Ann Lee.
Well, now here's a performance that we thought could very well be Oscar nominated. Amanda Seyfried, she's great. But again, who do you take out? So, I mean, it's definitely worthy.
Yeah.
It's definitely worthy. And this is an amazing, amazing film. And it's from, the director is Mona Fastvold, and she co-writes it with her husband, Brady Corbett.
Corbet. We learned
I'm
last
sorry,
year.
Brady Corbett. And they did, you flip the roles, they did The Brutalist last year. Amazing film. They are big, ambitious swingers.
Yes.
I mean, or thinkers, I should say. I'm not accusing them of being swingers.
Right. They take a big swing.
Right.
The baseball metaphor.
That's right. This is a big swing, a big, ambitious swing. And, I know. I realized what I said as soon as I said it. No, I'm sorry. But, in a way, Brutalist was it was historically based without being based on true events.
Right.
This one is based on true events, fascinating true events that I had next to no knowledge of.
No. Yeah, this is one of those movies too. And I wasn't, I kind of put off watching it, honestly, because it's a period drama, and it's about Ann Lee, who was a Shaker, who was a leader of the Shaker movement. And I just, what I mean? I thought, I got to find myself in a mood to watch something like that.
And it's long. It's 2:15.
But it doesn't feel it. And it's unlike any other movie you've seen. And one of the reasons is that Fastfold really works dance very naturally into the movie. It starts in the woods and it's clearly a choreographed dance. And it's beautiful and sort of surreal. But what it takes you into is this narrated by Thomas Mackenzie story of Ann Lee, who was one of the early Shaker leaders. And she believed herself to be, and the Shakers believed her to be, the second coming of Christ. which is fascinating. And I thought, how did I never know this? And
Right.
that's when you know historical drama gets you, is when it's over, you're Googling stuff.
Yeah.
And both of us were like, how do they get more members?
Yeah.
Are there still any secret? I mean,
because that's the thing. I'm sorry. They have a certain belief that made us both think, okay, if this is what you're following, if you see it all the way through, there's no way you could get any new members without spoiling anything. But so I was good. Are they still going on today? What's happening? It really does. It spurs your interest, and it's beautiful to look at. See it on the big screen.
Oh my God. It's a really, as a director, it's a very bold film. But as writers as well, it doesn't suggest to the viewer that she was the second coming of Christ. It doesn't suggest that she wasn't. It doesn't suggest that what she's thinking was real. It's not a faith-based movie. It's not anti-faith. It's not, it's just investigative. It's interested. It's genuinely interested.
Yeah.
And so therefore you're genuinely interested. It brings up lots of questions without answering them, because they're questions of faith. They can't be answered. And it's respectful, but it's curious. And it's so elegant. And the way they use dance, I'm not a musical fan, as I may have said in the past. I loved every minute of this movie.
Yeah, the dancing is very organic because that's what this group did. That's why they broke away, or were asked to break away from the Quakers and became the Shakers, because they're dancing. They're shaking it out, man. That's part of their celebration.
Yeah, it is.
Their communion with the Lord.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And
it's amazing.
So it's very, very organic. It's not like those things that you say you don't like about musicals, because all of a sudden,
you're like
dancing.
watching going, why are they singing?
No, it's part of their worship.
Well, now we know why they are. But they also do the ones that are organic, those are very obvious and they fit beautifully. But there are a few that are clearly choreographed like clockwork that are just stunning.
Yeah, more surreal.
Yeah, and they there are these lovely transitions from really one period to the next, or from one major time change to the next. It's just a beautifully crafted movie. And it's fascinating.
It is.
Seyfried was amazing.
She's great. The cast, including Louis Pullman,
also great.
Yeah, you mentioned Thomasin McKenzie, a smaller part, although she does narrate some of it. Great. The period details, fantastic. Christopher Abbott. Yeah, it's a cinematic experience.
It is.
And if you like that at the theater, please see this in the theater, because it's going to be much, much more of an experience, and you'll get the full, cinematography and all that, which they always come through with. How beautiful The Brutalist was. You just don't want to see these types of movies on your home TV screen.
No.
See them in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's such a niche-y, I guess, movie that I just wondered about as it went on, and it was so grand about the budget.
I know.
Like, how did they get green lit for this? I know Amanda Seyfried is a name, but they did not scrimp on the budget here, and it's really, really beautiful to look at and to experience in the big screen. Really liked it. And
so amazing.
A very award-worthy performance, even though she didn't get one, but still very award-worthy for Amanda Seyfried. And that's The Testament of Ann Lee. It's in theaters now.
Next up, an adaptation of an award-winning memoir. After losing her beloved father, Helen finds herself saved by an unlikely friendship with a stubborn hawk named Mabel. This is H is for Hawk.
Mabel the Hawk. Yeah, this is a well-loved and award-winning memoir from Helen McDonald, who's non-binary. And they lost, as the synopsis said, their father, who was a well-respected photojournalist in England. And he just dropped dead one day, very surprising. And Helen had been teaching at Cambridge, and it hit them very, very hard, obviously. And this movie is based on the book that is their journey through this relationship with the hawk, working through grief. They called it an honest encounter with death. Well, now, so right away, the fact that it's a hawk makes it very unique, because we've seen these types of stories before. Normally it's a dog,
right,
or it's a horse,
or
maybe it's an older person and a young wayward teen,
right, or a dolphin.
Yeah, or some of those movies have been good, but it's not all of a sudden it's a hawk, especially when it's based on a true story, because you also find out a lot about falconry organically through this, because Helen picks, I guess, a very stubborn breed, Eurasian goshawk, I think is it called. So they pick that one and have their hands full. And so you learn a lot about falconry and dealing with hawks. And that's fascinating. It really is. The early part of it, the director is Philippa Lothorpe, and two cinematographers, I guess. One handled the normal types of scenes with the hawk, but not too intense. And then you got a more experienced outdoor wildlife cinematographer for the outdoor stuff, which is often very beautiful and very majestic. And Claire Foy, who plays Helen, is great.
As always.
She is great. She just inhabits this part, the searching, the longing, the healing, the grief, and the flashback scenes. Most of them are flashback with Brendan Gleeson as Helen's
father. Love him so much.
So tender and funny and great and sweet. Yeah. All that works. So much of it works. The really only problem is when it leans a little too far, and it's 2-hour, I think, runtime with the wildlife stuff. Not that it's not beautiful, it is, but it takes away from the journey of healing and seems more fit for a wildlife documentary. There's just a little bit too much of it, and you end up getting a little bit more detached than you should be toward the journey of Helen with this hawk, working through the grief to get to a place where she needs to be. So a lot of this is very beautiful and touching, and I still would think it's worth seeing. I do. It's just, man, you think it could have been there. It could have been more resonant, just with a little firmer hand in directing and editing. And without reading the book, I'm guessing that that's maybe what was there in the pages, because obviously you can't show a bunch of wildlife photography in the pages of a book. And just from skimming the synopsis of the book, I think Helen did go into more things that are included in this book about their life, which is totally understandable. You gotta prune in a book. But the basis of the movie is that journey, that honest encounter with death. And I just think the overabundance of the wildlife stuff just makes it a little more detached than it should be, but it's got some great moments. It really does, some resonant moments. You'll want to learn more about falconry and about these hawks. That it's crazy to take this on. And you'll see a couple of great performances too from Claire Foy and Brendan Gleeson. So yeah, I don't think as memorable as it could have been, but still worth seeing, especially if you're a fan of the book.
Oh, yeah.
I think you would definitely want to see that. And that is H is for Hawk, and it's in theaters now.
Next in theaters, a portrayal of Ferdinand Magellan and Beatrice Barbossa's 1517 marriage in Seville, focusing on their brief time together before his departure on the Spanish crown's expedition. Magellan.
You know how sometimes the IMDb synopsis from a movie bears no resemblance?
Oh, yes, because I read them every week, and you're going, what?
Yeah. That there's no resemblance to this film whatsoever.
You know what was fun, though? When I put up the post on Instagram, I like to pick a song. So first I started out with the Immigrant Song, because you got that, and then I thought, no, I'm going with White Stripes Conquest.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, it's also a rousing song.
Yeah, so that was fun. So thank you, Magellan.
Yeah. Lav Diaz is a filmmaker here, and what he usually does is in black and white. And so this is definitely not that. This is a color movie. And his use of color is glorious. It is stunning. The way he sets up a scene, the way he lights it, every scene looks like an oil painting. Especially the interiors. There are not a lot of interiors, but the ones that there are, especially the ones that are on board a ship, it looks for all the world like an oil painting. Absolutely gorgeous. This movie is so gorgeous. But one of the reasons that everything looks like an oil painting is because it's like at least 98% stationary camera. He sets up a camera and it doesn't move, doesn't get closer, doesn't follow the action. It's right there. And so the actors kind of tumble into and out of the scene that you're looking at, which is usually a lovely path in a jungle or something like that. It's an unusual way to make a movie. And this film is about 2.5 hours long, and he lets the camera roll. I mean, you're looking at this beautiful scene for quite a while before characters tumble into it and behave and tumble out. And eventually you start to think, oh, this is clearly for a reason. He is doing this for a reason. And I think one of the things that it does, the other thing about this movie is the sound design is sometimes overwhelming, but always in the most gorgeous way. And I think that what the filmmaker is doing is he's making the natural world the character, the primary character. He's giving all of the attention visually and orally to the natural world, which makes all of the characters just these beasties that run through it and run amok. And it's a brilliant, subtle way of upending the way history has treated Magellan as this noble adventurer. And instead we see him and everybody else, although Gael Garcia Bernal plays Magellan, and you'll never have heard of anybody else in this movie. And there's a massive cast, hundreds of people, depending on where on earth they have traveled. That all of them they amount to very little except a nuisance to this overwhelmingly grand, large, sometimes brutal, but certainly beautiful planet Earth. And I love that about this movie. I love seeing a movie that is consistently unexpected. There's no part of this movie that I expect to see. Not that I have a PhD on Magellan. I don't know a great deal about Magellan, but this movie certainly changed my thoughts on what I thought I knew about it. And Gael Garcia Bernal, he's great in this movie. He really is. Although, again, the performances aren't really the point. The point, I think, is to rethink what we believe in history. And I think if it has a point of view, it's the point of view of, not the occupier, but the occupied. And it's fascinating that way, although it definitely does not take a heavy fist about that. It's just, and I do think, especially if you don't know what you're getting into, it will try a lot of moviegoers' patience.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to see it, go see it on the big screen, because Lord, it is gorgeous.
This is an educational week.
It is.
We're learning about falconry. We're learning about Magellan, and
Shakers.
We're learning about the Shakers.
That's right.
And you want to go look stuff
We're
up.
learning that we don't want to see any more Silent Hill movies.
And all three of the good educational ones, really worth seeing on the big screen. So all right, we're learning. We're learning this week.
New folk horror on Shudder this week. When a young woman faces a deadly diagnosis, she seeks dark magic from a witch in the woods. But every cure has costs. Mother of Flies.
New folk horror? What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Especially the Addams Family.
Yes. Not that Addams Family.
No.
Different Addams
No.
Family.
Friends of our other podcast,
right.
Fright Club.
That's right.
They've been on, and we thank them for that. We've shown their films at our Fright Club film series here in Columbus. So always like to see what they're doing. And they always find ways, I'll tell you, they're always impressive. Because let's face it, they don't have these big $50 million budgets.
No.
But they come up with some great stuff for the budget that they have. They get some great results.
Yeah,
they really do.
And it's a family affair. John Adams usually directs and shoots the film. In this case, the director, all three are listed as director. John Adams, Toby Poser, who is his wife, and Zelda Adams, who is their daughter. And they all three write, they all three direct, and they all three star in this film, Mother of Flies. And Zelda Adams she has terminal cancer, and her dad, John Adams, her actual dad, has picked her up from college, and she's talked him into going to this healer in the woods, played by Toby Poser. And Toby Poser is always a fascinating image on screen.
Yeah.
And she changes, it's not like she plays the same character every time. She really doesn't, but she's got such a presence about her. And I think part of it too is that they work together all the time. They know how to shoot her. They know, you know what I mean? They know to like take advantage of this presence that she is. She's so wonderful in this movie. She's wonderful in every movie. And she's the witch of the woods that they've gone to get healing from. But her performance has this lovely naivety about it that makes her seem in no way menacing, although there is a sense to the film that maybe they ought to feel menaced, like maybe this isn't wise. Also, I had the shout out to the location. So they travel from the college to this woman's house in the woods, and it is a real place, and it really looks like a Miyazaki drawing. It is it's just like a house it looks like this big winding tree gave birth to a home that's within it. It's stunning. It's amazing.
That's another thing about their films. They find great locations.
Oh, they do.
They really do.
And their movies are always gorgeous, and this movie is gorgeous.
Yep.
And it's the story is a little bit. I think it's a little bit more predictable than most of their stories are. It feels a little more familiar than a lot of their stories are, but it also, because I think it's just the three of them, and that it is about maybe losing your teenage daughter, and it's about, I feel like it's got there's an intimacy in this one that I don't think I've seen in one of their films since maybe The Deeper You Dig, which is from probably 10 years ago. But it's another one. It's just such a great indie horror film, folk horror, which is our favorite.
Love it.
And if you have Shudder, you gotta watch this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. And that one is on Shudder now. Latest from the Addams Family, Mother of Flies. All right, so no Schlocketeer this week.
Nope.
And we're going to take next week off. We're going to be in Texas with our latest short film called Druncula. Is going to show at the Austin Revolution Film Festival, and lucky enough to be up for some awards, which we're very appreciative of. Thanks to everybody there at Austin Revolution. So we're looking forward to that. So that's going to be next week. Hopefully bring home some hardware. Their award is a big belt buckle.
It is.
So if one of us comes back next week wearing this big belt buckle, that'll be fun. And then, all of the other short films. In fact, we're just about ready to put our second most recent short film on here on the YouTube channel, because once they're done with the festival runs, then we put them on here. So look for one called Al Fresco. That'll be on this YouTube channel very soon.
That's right. And if you didn't know it, go find all of our other short films that are right here on this channel.
They're on there, right there. So, but what about this week? Talking about the Oscar nominations, what do you think? I'll tell you, a lot of people have been debating them on the socials. I've been seeing that, which is always fun. You can keep that conversation going, or also any of the movies from this week, either Mercy or Return to Silent Hill. Maybe you loved it. Maybe you loved it. You want to tell her she's crazy. You try it. You go right ahead. Testament of Ann Lee, Ages for Hawk, or Mother of Flies. What are you thinking? Easy to keep in touch with us. MaddWolf.com is the main website. Also, MaddWolf Columbus on all the socials. Our other podcast, Fright Club, is available as well, and Fright Club podcast discussion group, kind of fun group on Facebook. Always looking for new members. So lots of ways to get in touch. Hey, if you're anywhere near the Midwest like we are, it's a deep freeze. It's Snowmageddon this week, so ride it out. We've got
some movies.
We've got our whiskey. We've got our snow shovels. We're gonna watch some movies. Do the same. Stay warm. Stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll talk in a couple of weeks. And until then, she is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And this is the Screening Room Podcast.
See ya.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.